My name is Amy Pagan with Amy Pagan Art, and if you are watching this video, then you have received a Spark box from Spark in Dallas. So I'm going to open up this box. I'm going to show you some of the things that we have inside and some of the things that you can do with it. But remember, your only limit is your creativity. So I'm going to give you some tips, and then it's all up to you, whatever you want to create. Let's open it up, shall we? Okay, so every Spark box is unique. So you will have different colors of items, different bonus items. So let's take a look and see what is in this one. Okay, so first of all, every Spark box has colored pencils. You should have 12, and they are in a variety of colors. And here's the good news. These are not just colored pencils. They are watercolor pencils. So you're going to be able to use these for drawing and also for painting. We'll come back to that. Okay, speaking of painting, here is a lovely paintbrush. You can use this on any number of items that you want to create. This is a synthetic bristle brush, which means it didn't use any animals in it. And it's also a size 6 round, which means it's very versatile because you can make fat lines with it if you use it sideways, and you can make very detailed lines if you use the very tip. Okay, this right here is polymer clay. Polymer clay is really cool because you can move it around, shape it, make it into whatever you want, and then if you love what you have and you want to stick with it, you can put it in the oven. And then it will harden and be a permanent little sculpture or beads for jewelry or any number of things. We'll get back to that. Okay, this is washi tape. Washi tape is really cool because it can stick to your paper, but when you're done with it, you can pull it off of your paper and it will not rip the paper, which is awesome. I use this a lot in painting. I'll show you how. Right here, this is one of my favorite items. It's a ruler, so you can do all kinds of straight edges with it, but you'll notice it is also heat reactive. So this one is purple, and the purple turns to pink when it gets warm from your hands. The Spark boxes all have different colors of rulers, so go ahead and give yours a good hug and see what color it turns. I just think that's fun. All right. Pencil sharpener, again, we have them in a variety of colors, and they have 2 different sizes for sharpening. Okay, right here, you are going to have received 4 different colors of embroidery thread, which is what this is. Obviously, you can use it for embroidery. You can also make bracelets with it. You can do weaving with it, a whole bunch of different things. I'm going to show you. Okay, this beautiful, beautiful paper is for making origami. I'll show you one. And then there's so many things you can do. This is a very old art form. But yeah, I hope you like the pretty paper. Okay, set those aside. We'll talk about that in a second. This right here is lovely watercolor paper. And you can tell it's watercolor paper because it has a bumpy side and then it also has a smoother side. When you use it for drawing or for painting, you want to use the bumpy side up, and that is because it will absorb more water that way. So we'll do that in just a second. Okay, what are these? Well, obviously this is a duck and this is a yo-yo. And these are some of the bonus items that you might have in your box. Other items you might have are pony beads, little sparkly gems, all kinds of things. So every Spark box comes with some sort of yay hooray bonus item, and you can do whatever you want with it. Okay, so that's what's inside our box. I'm going to set our box aside, but not before I tell you the box itself is ready to be a work of art for you. So you can color on this box, you can put stickers on it, you can do whatever you want. It is your box to keep all of your Spark supplies and your creative ideas inside. Okay, so let's start out with our watercolor paper. So I'm going to check the sides. This side's smooth, this side is bumpy, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to set my other colors aside. Now, if I'm going to paint, I will eventually need a little glass of water. So I have a cup of water to use. I'm not going to do that right away because first we're going to draw. Okay, so the very first thing that we are going to draw is a color wheel. These are really fun to create, and also you can use this in all of your future paintings and drawings. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna use a regular old pencil, and I'm gonna make a triangle. This is important, I promise. I know it doesn't look like a wheel yet. Okay, and then I'm gonna make another triangle right on top of it, but this one's gonna be upside down. So just 2 triangles. Do they have to be perfect? No, absolutely not. Not at all. Okay, so the very first thing I'm gonna do is pull out my primary colors. Primary colors are the colors that can make up every other color. So with just these 3 colors, red and yellow and blue, I can make every color under the rainbow. I'm gonna start with my red. I'm going to make a little circle, and again, it does not have to be perfect. Just gonna color that little circle right at the very top of the triangle. My next color, yellow, is gonna stay on this triangle. So from here on my red, I'm gonna come all the way down to this bottom corner. And I'm gonna make a yellow circle. I promise this turns into a wheel. I know it doesn't look like one yet. Okay, blue. So I'm gonna follow this triangle, bottom left corner, blue. So these are called our primary colors. Okay, what comes next? Our secondary colors. The way I'm gonna do that is in between these 2, I'm gonna do 1 layer of red and 1 layer of yellow. Let's make it happen. Ready? I'm gonna do my layer of yellow. I'm going to do my layer of red. And what color do you think I'm gonna come up with? It's an orange. Now let me show you the trick with these pencils. I'm gonna take my paintbrush. I'm gonna dip it in a little bit of water. And now I'm going to blend this with just a little bit of water. And now it will become so very obvious that that's orange. Isn't that nice? Just so you can see what it does with the primary colors, let me go ahead and just kind of go over those with a little bit of water. You want to rinse your brush in between because the colors will bleed onto each other if you don't. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna set my paintbrush aside. Now, if I blended red and yellow here, what do you think I'm gonna blend right here? That's right, yellow and blue. So let's do a yellow. And a blue. This may seem very basic for some of you, but it's really fun and it's great to get an understanding of how color works. Okay, let's take our paintbrush, we're gonna blend them. And of course we end up with a beautiful green. Now one thing that's really interesting about blending your colors is that they become more interesting. Sometimes if you just use a plain old green pencil, it's just that one color, right? It's just that plain green. But if you mix your own colors, some of your green will have like a little extra splash of yellow in it or a little more blue. So this is a fun way to learn the ways that you can manipulate your colors to get just the right one you want. Okay, so in between here, we're going to blend a blue and a red. I'm gonna put that red down right there. And then I'm gonna do 1 layer of blue. And what is that going to end up being? Violet. It didn't look like it was going to be, did it? But it is. Okay, now these are what we call our secondary colors. Oops, let me do it. Secondary. Okay, so that's those. Now, our last collection of colors that we're going to do today, there's way more you can do with the color wheel, but this is what we're going to do for today. We're going to do the tertiary colors. And those, as you might imagine, are blending between these colors and these colors and these colors. So if we have primary, which means 1, we have secondary, which means 2, and then we're going to have tertiary, which means 3. So first layer, second layer, third layer. So here we go. Now, if we are going to blend red and orange, we're going to do 1 layer of red for the red. Now what goes into orange? 1 layer of yellow, and a layer of red. So what we've done here is 2 reds and 1 yellow. Let's see how that ends up. It's a brighter reddish orange, isn't it? With the tertiary colors, we're always going to name them with the primary color first. So a mixture of red and orange ends up being red-orange. Let's do this one next. Right here in between the orange and the yellow. So I'm definitely going to have 1 yellow layer for my yellow, right? And then what do we have here to make orange? We have another layer of yellow plus 1 layer of red. Paintbrush. Ta-da! And you can see it's a lighter color. So if this one is red-orange, this one is yellow-orange because we named it after the primary color. Okay, let's go in between green and yellow. So yellow, 1 layer of yellow, right, for this. And then over here for the green, we're going to do a layer of blue. And then another layer of yellow. And what do you think we're going to name this one? If we name it after the primary color, we are going to name it yellow-green. You can see it's a lighter green. Okay, let's do this one. So we're going to have our blue. And then what 2 colors did we blend to make green? We blended blue, another layer of blue, and a yellow. And because blue is our primary color, the name for this color is going to be blue-green. Isn't that pretty? It's like a turquoise. Okay, now we're going to need to blend blue and violet. So right in between, I'm going to do a blue circle. And then what colors did we blend to get violet? Another layer of blue. So this one is 2 blues and 1 red. A little bit of water. And we have a blue-violet. Okay, almost done. Last one that we're going to do. Right in between red and violet. So let's go ahead and make 1 red layer for red. And then what did we use to make violet? Another layer of red. And 1 layer of blue. And the name of this one would be Red Violet. Now I know we used some triangles, but the reason we call this our color wheel is because if we connect all of our little circles, it turns into a wheel. In the middle, one color you might want to try is we're going to blend all three primary colors together. So we've got our yellow, our blue, and our red, right? So I'm going to do yellow and blue and red. Let's see what happens when we blend all of those together. You get a beautiful brown, kind of brown that you would want to paint a tree trunk, right? And then you could maybe, if you want that tree trunk to be lighter, maybe add more yellow. If you want it to be darker, try adding more blue or more red. Test it out, see how you like it, go back and forth. Other things that we can do is blend a color. I'm going to use red in this case. So there's one layer of red. What happens if I do a second layer? It gets a lot brighter, doesn't it? And if I keep adding layers, that red is just going to get more and more bright. That's one thing you can do. How about if I do a layer of red, and then I take my white pencil? What do you think is going to happen? It starts to turn more pink, doesn't it? Now you do have several different colors in your box, but this is going to give you options. So you know if you only ever have 3 colors, exactly which 3 you would pick. Let's look at one more thing. Here's my red. And then I'm going to add some black. The red still shows through, doesn't it? But it's definitely a different color. You have a different value there. These are all different things that you can try with your new colors. Let me show you something else. Let's work on layering colors. For example, I'm going to make an oval. Just a big old oval in the middle of my page. I'm going to color in my oval. It's just a big old green oval. Then I'm going to make, well, it's like a smiley, a little curvy line, a crescent line. So I've got these things. I've got this oval and I've got this crescent. Now, if I take this pencil and I just go back and forth, this is the very same color, but look at that. It looks different, doesn't it? It looks to be a different color. And I'm just going to make some stripes on here. Just going back and forth with my pencil. Just making little stripes. And this is just a really quick sketch, but it's a fun practice. I am now going to take a red and I'm going to imagine that I have a triangle here and that either end of the triangle would touch those crescents. So here we go. Very top, I'm just going to color in a little bit of red. Now watch what we can do. I'm going to take my paintbrush, it only has water on it, and I'm going to blend my red. I'm going to pull it almost down to that crescent, but not all the way, just a little bit. So I'm gonna leave some white, and then I've got my red at the very top, and I've got my green. What do you think we're painting? You have a guess? Should be pretty obvious now, but we're not quite done. Let's go ahead and blend this green. And again, I've rinsed my brush. Just water. I'm just putting a little bit of water here over my watermelon. And I can blend all I want. Now I might take my black pencil, if I can find it. Here it is. I'm just going to do some little seeds. Just some little lines. Maybe one will kind of stick out sideways. And the very last thing I do with my painting is sign my initials. This is a very basic drawing, but it shows you the layers that you can do with all of the colors that you created from your color wheel. Now I have lots and lots and lots of different paintings and drawings you can do at Amy Pagan Art. That's on Facebook, it's also on Instagram and on YouTube. So if you want lots and lots of free classes, you can go check that out, make all the paintings you want. Okay, I'm gonna be right back and we're gonna make something with one of our other projects.